Welcome to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. I'm your host, Molly Watts. If you want to change your drinking habits and create a peaceful relationship with alcohol, you're in the right place. This podcast explores the strategies I use to overcome a lifetime of family alcohol abuse, more than 30 years of anxiety and worry about my own drinking, and what felt like an unbreakable daily drinking habit. Becoming an alcohol minimalist means removing excess alcohol from your life so it doesn't remove you from life. It means being able to take alcohol or leave it without feeling deprived. It means to live peacefully, being able to enjoy a glass of wine without feeling guilty and without needing to finish the bottle. With science on our side, we'll shatter your past patterns and eliminate your excuses. Changing your relationship with alcohol is possible. I'm here to help you do it. Let's start now.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast with me, your host, Molly Watts, coming to you from, it's been a pretty downright gorgeous Oregon around here. I mean, record-setting heat and an aurora borealis that was seen by many, many people. Not me, but many, many people. I tried. I wanted to. Didn't happen. That's okay. Got to see lots of great pictures and maybe next time, right? Hey, it has been sunny and gorgeous and warm and so delightful here in Oregon for the last good 5 or 6 days. And it seems like this week it's just going to be going on a little cooler now, like in the mid 70s, but very pleasant. And I am not complaining one iota. It is a gorgeous Oregon right now. Hey, welcome back to the show. I have a little bit of housekeeping here before we jump into this week's show, and I have some prize winners. If you would like to be eligible for some alcohol minimalist swag, all you got to do is leave a review of this podcast or of my book, Breaking the Bottle Legacy, wherever you listen to podcasts, wherever you might have read the book, and I will find you. You have 2 chances to win. One is for the selected review and one is the random prize drawing. Same prizes, doesn't matter, but if you are kind enough to leave some nice words, you'll get that maybe read on the air and then, and I just appreciate it. It really helps. It helps me to feel like I'm reaching people on a one-on-one basis, whether that's true or not. It helps. It's very nice to hear from you. And also it helps spread the word of this podcast. That's how people find this show. They see that it has good ratings and reviews, and so they come and listen. And it's your little part in helping me do better work in the world for more people. So I appreciate it. You just go to wherever you, like I said, wherever you listen, wherever you read, leave a review, and I will find you. Today's winners are for the random prize drawing. We have somebody who left a comment on YouTube. It is Melissa Bruger. Melissa Bruger, you left some comments on YouTube, and you are my random prize winner. And for my selected prize winner, it is Sammy Kramer. And Sammy Kramer, you left a review on Spotify or some comments on Spotify that says, lots of great useful knowledge on this podcast. Thanks. You're welcome, Sammy. And that was specifically on the episode with Dr. Brooke Scheller. So I'm glad you liked that episode. And that's all you got to do, folks. Just leave a review, put in some kind words, and you could hear your name called too. Sammy or Melissa, just email me, molly@mollywatts.com, and I will send you out your alcohol minimalist swag. This week's episode is titled 4 Reasons You're Not Making Progress on Changing Your Drinking Habits Yet. And this episode is really important for you to hear because especially if you've been working on changing your drinking habits for a while now, but you're still not seeing the results you want, and maybe you're having a lot of anxiety and worry around your drinking, you're still having too many off-plan drinking days, and it feels super frustrating to put in all this effort and not be making any progress. So what's going on? Why aren't you creating sustainable change? And what can you do about it? Today, I hope I have some answers and provide a little bit of relief from the things that you might be thinking or feeling about not making progress. And remember that keyword, yet. I'm going to be sharing 4 reasons that you're not changing your drinking. Wait for it, yet. But before I get to those reasons, make sure that you really take time to hear the last word that I'm talking about, yet, right? Because while it may or may not even be true that you're not changing your drinking habits, because we'll talk about that as we get to reason number 4, which is that it may not even be true that you're not changing your drinking habits. Your current progress is not an indicator of your future success. It truly does not matter how long you've struggled or what results you have gotten in the past. At any point in time, you can turn the ship around and sail in the direction you want to go. You are 100% capable of changing your drinking habits, drinking less, and creating a peaceful relationship with alcohol. And I realize that throws in the face of what they will tell you in sobriety or sober-only communities or in recovery industry. They will tell you that it's not possible. I'm telling you that it is. Now, again, I do not work with people who consider or identify themselves as someone with severe alcohol use disorder or someone that would be physically dependent. But for many of you, most of you, all of you that I hope are listening that are just simply drinking more than you want to, I am here to tell you that you absolutely can create a peaceful relationship with alcohol and become an alcohol minimalist. I teach you about tactics like the doable drink plan, the off-plan plan, the power of continuous improvement here on the show. And these are all really important, but they support the number one thing that you have to do to create sustainable change. And that's really what we're talking about here in this episode. Believing in yourself and your ability to change is the undeniable, inescapable, and absolute number one key to changing your drinking habits and creating sustainable change and a peaceful relationship with alcohol for the rest of your life. And right now, there is a really good chance that instead of belief in yourself, you have a lot of disbelief. And it is lurking in every corner of your brain and in every thought that you have. It's not just one thought. It's not just, I don't believe I can change my drinking that's stopping you. Though that's definitely something I hear, right? And I hear it's a very common block in everybody's thinking and a block in the mindset that I hear. But there are other ways that disbelief shows up. And notably, it shows up in over and off-plan drinking. And that's what we're going to talk about today. These are the 4 reasons you're not changing your drinking yet. And these 4 reasons are your ticket to uncovering your disbelief, your mindset, and so that you can change it, so that you can challenge those thoughts, that you can bust through that disbelief and become someone who believes in your ability to change. And that's what I really focus on with the people that I work with. It's helping them find their thoughts and to recognize them and to help shift that thinking from it's impossible, right? Because that's how people typically start, that it's impossible to change, to it's possible to change, to it's probable that I can change, to I'm positive I can change. So here we go. 4 reasons you're not changing your drinking yet and what to do about them. Reason number 1 that you're not changing your drinking habits is that you haven't decided to become an alcohol minimalist. What do I mean by that? Well, you've been thinking about it. You've been talking about it. Maybe you know that you want to drink less. You worry about your drinking, and you've maybe done some research, possibly even downloaded something like Alcohol Truths, How Much is Safe. You feel like you're putting in a lot of effort. You're definitely thinking about drinking less, and you're thinking about it a lot. but you notice that you're only kind of sort of following the parts of the program that you were already doing anyway. And you're definitely not feeling at peace with alcohol yet. Here's how you know that you haven't decided to become an alcohol minimalist. You're still waffling about the exact wording of your goal, or you haven't even used the word goal yet. You tell yourself things like, I just want to be able to take wine or leave it. Or, I'd be really happy if I just never had a hangover ever again. Or, I'm just trying to be a little healthier. All of that kind of wishy-washy, sort of vague ambiguity, uncertainty, that's disbelief. Contrast that with deciding to stick to low-risk limits. Feel how solid and sure decision feels. If you're not changing your drinking yet because of indecision, here's your plan of action. Decide, commit, go all in. Announce to yourself that you are becoming an alcohol minimalist. Feel the power of that decision, that belief in your body, and let it fuel your daily activities. Reason number 2 that you're not changing your drinking yet is that you're not consistent with making doable drink plans. Okay, so you've made the decision to change your drinking, but, well, sometimes you're planning your drinks and sometimes you're not. And even when you are tracking, your plans are kind of all over the place. Or you're tracking, but you literally never look at the numbers again after you put them into your app or your spreadsheet or your notebook, wherever. You feel really justified that just because you are tracking your drinks, that you should be feeling more at peace because, come on, you're tracking. And you're getting pretty frustrated that you're not seeing a lot of change. But here's how I, as your coach, knows that you're not actually being consistent with doable drink plans. When I ask you about your numbers, you say things like, pretty sure I've been consistent, or I think I'm doing all right, or I've been really good about tracking. Listen, being really good about tracking is a skill, and congratulations for doing it. But tracking your drinks consistently isn't the same as consistently planning and meeting your plans. That inconsistency, that not meeting your plans, that's disbelief. Compare that with the reality of making and keeping a plan every day. Feel how warm and simple, reliable feels. If you're not changing your drinking yet because of inconsistency, here's your plan of action. Create a doable drink plan for yourself that you can repeat consistently. Get honest with yourself about your current consistency. Meet yourself where you are so you can move toward relying on yourself at 100% consistency. Then look for an opportunity for continuous improvement, but not until you are 100% consistent with reliable routine and a doable drink plan.
Just a quick break to talk with you more about Sunnyside. Did you know that Sunnyside uses science to help you reach your goals by focusing on 3 scientifically proven superpowers that you have? Number 1, the power of pre-commitment. Each week you set an intention for the week ahead that includes a tracking goal, a drink goal, and possibly a dry day goal. Number 2, the power of conscious interference. You'll learn the habit of tracking each day as soon as you finish it, which creates a mindful pause before you start the next day. And number 3, positivity. We know that this is a big step that can be tough at times, right? And that's why Sunnyside offers coaching through SMS and email to give you support, advice, and motivation. You can check out a free 15-day trial at www.sunnyside.co/Molly. That's www.sunnyside.co/Molly.
Reason number 3 that you're not changing your relationship with alcohol yet is that you haven't taken responsibility for drinking less. Now, listen, I know this one's tough for you, for a lot of us. For me, it certainly was. We have all been socialized our whole lives to look toward outside authority for all of our answers, from our parents and our teachers to people in lots of different official capacities. We've abdicated responsibility for our results. Not taking responsibility for drinking less shows up in things like constantly researching the right way, quote unquote, to change your drinking. You find yourself doing lots of learning around alcohol and habit change, but not taking action. Or you spend time blaming your genetics, your social life, your job, your spouse for making changing your drinking habits so hard. And it definitely shows up in your drinking habit results or lack thereof. You'll know that you haven't taken responsibility for drinking less when you find yourself saying things like, well, I guess I'll try this and just see how it goes. Or I'm really hoping this new program works for me. Or I've tried everything and nothing really works for me because ... And then you fill in the blank with something or somebody else that isn't you. Now, my friends, I know this one is tough to hear, but all the blame and learned helplessness is holding you back. It's disbelief. And when you see and feel the difference between giving all of your power away versus taking responsibility for yourself and the results you want to create, you will change your drinking habits and create sustainable change. Feel how powerful personal responsibility feels. If you're not drinking less yet because you haven't taken responsibility for drinking less, this is your course of action. Take the reins, take control, take responsibility. Changing your drinking isn't outside of your control. It's yours to create for yourself. Finally, reason number 4 that you're not changing your relationship with alcohol yet is that you're telling yourself you're not changing. What? Can it really be that simple? Yeah, it actually can. In my work as a coach, have heard the sentence, I haven't made much progress, come out, and it never ceases to amaze me how much we believe in our own mindset blocks. When I ask my clients how the week is gone, they will inevitably answer me with something like, well, I'm not still where I want to be, or I didn't stick to my plan, or Monday and Tuesday were good, but Friday was a disaster. And then I ask them for the actual numbers, for the verifiable data, and they will say, well, I drank the number of drinks that were on my plan, but that's still too much. Or they'll say, well, the number isn't the problem. It's that I didn't stick to my plan on Friday. Digging a little deeper, I'll find that in actuality, we have decreased drinking by a day or by a certain number of drinks, but my clients' brains immediately want to focus on something else. They want to focus on the other side of the story. They want to see where they haven't exceeded a goal yet. My friends, this is disbelief, and it's a mindset block that you absolutely want to break through because it's literally stopping you from seeing the change in your drinking results that you want, even though they are right in front of your face. The human brain has an incredible capacity to see what it already believes, or in this case, disbelieves. It's called confirmation bias, and we all have it. But thank goodness we also have the ability to see through it. And that's your plan of action here. Really listen to yourself, to what you're saying to yourself, and question it. Your brain is always telling you a story, and it's your job as the observer of your brain to know it's the story you want to be telling yourself. Rather than giving into your disbelief, you can create unshakable belief in yourself and your ability to create sustainable change. This is exactly the work that I do when I work with people. We take a look at mindset blocks, at thought errors, at things that are, the thoughts that are coming up, and we challenge them with another option, because thoughts are just sentences in your brains, everybody. They are sentences that are not true. They are not false. They are optional. And when we choose how we want to think, we can choose how we feel, which helps us take different actions, which gets us different results in our lives. That's what the behavior map result cycle is all about. So here is a quick recap of the 4 reasons that you're not changing your drinking yet. Number 1, you haven't decided to drink less. Number 2, you're not consistent with your doable drink plans. Number 3, you haven't taken responsibility for drinking less. And number 4, you're telling yourself that you're not changing your drinking when you really are. Now, if you're tired of trying to figure out all of this on your own, I would love to chat with you about how I work with people. During our call, I'll share with you all about my brand new Progress Promise, which is perfect for people who don't feel like they're making progress. It's something I just recently launched, and it really helps ensure that you do make progress towards your goals. When we set up this free call, totally free, we will decide together which of my programs makes the most sense for you. So shoot me an email, molly@mollywatts.com, and let's talk. All right, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Until next time, choose peace.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. Take something you learned from this week's episode and put it into action. Changing your drinking habits and creating a peaceful relationship with alcohol is 100% possible. You can stop worrying, stop feeling guilty about overdrinking, and become someone who desires alcohol less. I work with people in 3 ways. You can learn about them over at www.mollywatts.com/workwithme. Or better yet, reach out to me directly. It's molly@mollywatts.com. We'll jump on a call and discuss what's best for you. This podcast is really just the beginning of our conversation. Let's keep it going.